Hi, I'm Annie Botticelli, and welcome to my September 2019 horoscope report for you. I'm going to give you the top 3 must-knows for your sign, including details like looking at the actual charts and seeing what fields of experience these aspects in the sky are going to drill down for your specific sign and what that looks like and how you can best use the energies. I offer so many free resources. Most of the things that I do are free. So you definitely want to tap into all of the things that I am offering to you. Besides these monthly videos that I offer always a month early, you can also go to cozybysweetstarlight.com to get written horoscopes by me and all kinds of other astrology and other blogs. You can go to anniehelpsyou.com to see all of my astrology blogs plus inspirational blogs and other things there. You can sign up for my free email newsletter where you get a written write-up of the month to come a month early, plus my 28-day virtual coaching program for free at anniehelpsyou.com. So definitely make sure you're tapping into all of the things I am working hard every month to offer you. Now I'm going to go into the details of what your sign has to look forward to in September 2019. Hello Aries friends, welcome to my September 2019 horoscope report for you. We have a very astrologically busy month this month. Last month we had around 14 notable aspects. This month we have double that, so there are like 28 different aspects occurring that are going to be definitely making you stand up and take notice. Between this video, which will focus on the top 3 things that Aries needs to know about the aspects occurring and where you can expect those things to show up in your life, and also other resources I've created that I will direct you to, I will give you full coverage of all of the things that are happening this month. I'm going to show you the charts, the Aries early, middle, and late degree placement charts, to show you what areas of life, what houses are being accentuated by these aspects. There are a lot of conflicts in the stars, but there are also a lot of smooth and sweet spots. And for Aries who like to get things done, I have Aries rising, so I know that feeling, then this can be a really great month. There will be some work that has to be done and some details that have to be focused on in order to get the goals this month. But if you can manage to kind of, tame your headlong throwing into certain things and back up and handle some details, then I think you can make a massive amount of progress, which I know is going to make you smile. Okay, so many of the things I talk about are going to be true for all Aries placements, but I am going to have times where I differentiate out. So let's see where you are. Early Aries are our March born, or 0 to 9 degrees. Middle degree around April 1st through 10th, or 10 to 19 degrees. And late, April 11th through the rest of the sign, or 20 to 29 degrees. And if you are watching for your moon or rising, this is for you equally. I have Aries rising, so when I'm doing this report for you, I'm also doing this for myself. I can jive right with you middle degree placements, which is where I am. The sun chart, the rising chart, and the moon chart are all windows into the bigger picture for each individual, so I believe they all have equal relevance. So this month is a wild one. We've got these 28 different aspects, so it's very astrologically busy. So I want to talk about the top 3 must-knows for Aries. The first thing we have to talk about is this massive stellium. Stellium is a bunch of planets altogether. This massive stellium in Virgo. What that means for Aries placements, how it's going to trine, make this beautiful aspect to these Earth planets, how this stellium is going to oppose Neptune, and how this stellium is making squares to Jupiter. Okay, so it's kind of complex. There's a lot going on there. The second thing that I believe is a must-know for Aries has to do with how the climate of the month is going to change when these planets get into Libra towards the end of the month, which will be a theme that will carry over into October, and how all those energies are going to oppose Aries placements, which we also have Chiron there for those early degree placements. We'll throw that in to point number 2. Okay, so that was 2. And then the third, I want to talk about Jupiter, because Jupiter is getting ready to complete its transit through Sagittarius. I want to talk about what its new forward movement means for you all and where you can expect this expansion to be focused for the rest of the time that it's in Sagittarius. Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about is the Virgo stellium and all the aspects that it's making to these different things. So I have to, of course, always be honest with you. You know, I'm always looking for what can be sweet, and there is a lot of sweetness and magic that can happen this month. But as a fellow Aries placement, I will tell you it's going to be kind of stressful and annoying because these planets in Virgo make a, let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 times 30 is 150. That's a quincunx angle. And that is a challenging angle. It is awkward. Okay, so, and you'll notice this every year at this time, that after the Leo frenzy that blends beautifully with the Aries placement, you know, at the end of July and into August, we come over this time where it's like time to buckle down, the freedom party's over, we got to get organized and get structured. And in some ways that feels good. It feels good to, I think, to pull in the excess and just get, you know, kind of like it's back to school energy, even if you're not going back to school, but it's like, okay, time to get situated, time to get organized, time to get focused. And in some ways it can feel good. It just doesn't flow naturally with the nature of Aries, which is just to plow forward. And what Virgo is going to say is, let's get the details. Let's slow down and look at the details. Well, Aries energy does not like to slow down. So when we have to do this, it can rub against us in an unpleasant way. And add to that, that our friend Jupiter is moving forward in fellow fire sign. And we're like, yay, we want to keep expanding. Let's do this thing. And now all these Virgo planets are going to square that and say, hold up. You can't do any more expanding until you check to see what you've overcommitted, check to make sure your foundation's strong enough for your expansion. You have to build a foundation equal to the size building you want to build. And if your foundation's not strong enough or your infrastructure's not, you've got to take some steps back to be able to complete this expansion. Also, how this might manifest is that the eclipses and the Leo energies might have brought you in some beautiful opportunities and new projects, very exciting stuff. But in order for you to figure out how the heck you're going to pull through what you've committed to, or if you can even, or if it's sustainable, you've got to go drill down to those details. And you've got to get your system together. So like I said, it's a little awkward. It's a little stressful. It's a little annoying to kind of take a few steps back. But it is going to set you up for more future expansion and forward movement. And it is going to help you to create things in a better way. And it is going to give you some relief in the way that it can. You'll feel better when you know you have a structure, and you'll feel better when you know that, all right, this is what has to be done in order to bring the bigger objective. And this month of September 2019 is super critical because 2020 is a year of personal planet retrogrades. I know that's like not music to your ears because Aries wants to move forward, and personal planet retrograde years, we move inward and backward. I am going to continue helping you to make friends with the retrogrades, and I will be there to support you the whole time and tell you all the wonderful things about that time and help you focus on those areas. But September 2019 and from December 9th through February 2nd are our last big open windows for pushing things forward where we don't have retrogrades. Because as of October 12th, we've got a retrograde cycle with Mercury. And then after February 2nd, those personal planet retrogrades are really going to be dogging. So besides a few days at the end of March, beginning of April of 2020, and a few days at the end of July, you know, which are like push points or launch points or clarity points, everything else is really cloaked in this retrograde energy. So that makes this month very critical. So if you can pull through important things this month, fantastic. Launch them, get new devices, get new cars, get new, you know, whatever you got to do. Just make sure they're reasonable and practical, that you can afford them, of course. But if you can't do those big launches, at least you can get your ducks in a row now for that launch time between December 9th and February 2nd. So this is going to be really critical. Now this opposition, the series of oppositions, all these planets are going to oppose Neptune, can bring uncertainty and doubt and confusion. And those are not energies that blend well with Aries. Aries is bold, moves, you know, it's like blazing forward, feeling the fear maybe and doing it anyway, or not feeling the fear and just doing it. But Neptune brings this doubt from the inside or the outside. So you might have some questions and some insecurities. Some people might be critical about you. You know, this Virgo criticism can come in a big way that can make you second guess some things. internet security or other breaches of security or things going on in your inner world could feel like they're working against some progress. But I do call oppositions superhero placements, because even though they pull you in two directions, and you will feel that being pulled in these two different directions and being exhausted and overworked, you can do your superhero thing, which is what I call the opposition, is the superhero transit, where you just like manage all fronts magically and effectively, and you get in a good stride and you feel like you're really mastering things for a little bit there. So that's very possible. But know that these bumps to your security and your certainty might be temporary, but it could add some confusion where you're like, what am I doing? But just know that that's probably due to that transit, and it will pass. All of these planets are going to make beautiful trines here. So this makes this a really great month for material things. Material things work, your business, your place out in the world, your job. If you're looking for a new job, if you're looking for a raise, if you're looking to redo what your work looks like, these are amazing. And things you've worked on in the past can manifest in a huge way, crystallize into awesome manifestations. So I love that. But again, it's going to take some work. You're going to have to do the work here, but you can definitely get the gold this month. Okay, so when we have a gathering in the sky, it's kind of like a party. Okay, so this is like a gathering here. So it's a party, or it's a gathering of some sort. And each of these planets, Mercury, the Sun, earlier the time, the Moon, Mars, Venus, are all participants in this gathering. And the mood is Virgo. So the mood is a task force meeting. It's a strategy meeting. It's getting their structure down. And where the meeting takes place is the house. Okay, so these fields of experience that we have as humans, those are where these areas of life that are accentuated as the planets are moving through them or having aspects with planets there. So let's look for early, middle, and late. What houses are aspected? I'll just list the houses, then I'll make a grid, and then I'll tell you what you can expect as far as magic and mischief in those areas from these many placements that will be moving through there. So early degree, you've got the 6th house accentuated, you've got the 9th house, the 10th house, and the 12th house. Middle degree placements, you have the 5th, you might have a little bit of 5th there, depending on what your middle degree is. You'll have 6th, 8th, 9th, 10th, and 12th. And late degree placements, you'll have this 5th, 6th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. Okay, so the middle and late degree placements are going to have the 5th houses accentuated. So mischief and magic with true love, romance. There'll be new opportunities there for love, people from the past or new people or current relationship. If you're trying to have a baby, developments could happen there. If your creative projects are your babies, or if you're, have anything creative going on, this can come up in a big way. Especially things like acting, dancing, singing, athleticism, things that put you on stage in front of a bunch of people, fashion, anything with people looking at you. Hobbies and fun. I call this a bucket list house because it's full of the energy of you doing the things that you really want to do. Early, middle, and late degree placements, you all have the 6th house accentuated. And really, truth be known, every sign of the zodiac has the energy of the 6th house accentuated because all the planets are in Virgo and Virgo rules the 6th house. But there's extra focus for Aries in those areas. And that's going to be, your diagnostics, medical stuff, getting all of your health, yearly health things done. It's a good time for that. Starting to get your, this is an office house or work house, and you have your work houses accentuated in multiple ways. So like starting to get your taxes, just like prepped out and things worked in, and anything involving pets or your diet or exercise or regimen or health, anything like that, anything that you do every day, work dynamics, or if you're self-employed, business. Middle and late degree placements have the 8th house accentuated, so mischief and magic in shared resources, partnerships, marital money, inheritance money, sweepstakes, winning, lotto, debt, credit, loans, things like that. So if you need a loan, this is a really great time to make big, long-lasting money decisions. And if you need access to money, this can really help you. The 9th house is accentuated for all placements, and with Jupiter moving through Sagittarius, this is further accentuated. And so this has to do with, and actually this kind of ties into, I may as well add it in now, a little sneak peek into the other thing we're going to look at. Jupiter is in the 9th for early, and Jupiter is affecting the 9th for some of you middle, not quite yet for you late, but that's coming. So 9th house stuff for Aries, all early, middle, and late degree placements, but additionally, because of Jupiter being in the house, you early and middle, currently, publishing. Anything with writing, publishing, speaking, teaching, moving forward in a big way. If you've been wanting to write a book or you're wanting to launch a book, this is a great time for that. Or getting everything organized in order to be able to do that, or sending out things to publishers, or figuring out how to self-publish. Those kind of annoying technological and editorial details can be getting dealt with now. There's good focus for that. Good powers of concentration at this time. That is definitely something important to note that's positive about this. International travel, international business, different countries, different cultures, different languages, learning a new language, anything having to do with church or spiritual organizations, teaching and learning. So if you're looking for an education project, or you're wanting to learn or you're wanting to teach, launch a teaching platform. This is amazing. And if you want to learn astrology, this is the time where I'll start closing out my astrology apprenticeship program registration. So if you want to learn with me, this would be a good time to jump in for that. You can see that at anniehelpsyou.com if you resonate with how I teach. But things like that, like education programs where it enhances your learning, and that you can use for professional purposes. And speaking of professional purposes, all early, middle, and late degree placements have the 10th house accentuated. So your work is continuing to be on fire, and be in the focus of your mind. There's a lot of long-term placements focusing on work for Aries, and this has been going on. It's going to be going on, but it's also accentuated in the short term. So mischief and magic there, manifestation, recognition. If you're looking for a job or raise or something important there, or being noticed by someone critical, this is a really great time. Late degree placements, you have some whispers of the 11th house here, and this has to do with networking, social media, internet-based projects, large groups, finding your tribe, working with your tribe. So if somebody wants to connect you with somebody, try to take that seriously and follow through. If they give you a card, hey, you need to talk to my friend about this, and usually you put the card in your drawer and you don't do anything, this would be a time to listen to contacts from friends, because this 11th house can bring some important things. And the 12th house for all early, middle, and late degree placements is being accentuated as well. And that has to do with your inner world, your psychic perceptions, your intuitive perceptions, going with your gut on things and trusting that. Your dream time, mastering your subconscious mind. I'm really into figuring out all the ways that we can use the power of our subconscious mind. So this is a good time for that, inner work, as I call it, to make friends with and be in alignment with and use the power of that force that's within you, creating all the time. Past life regression, hypnosis, psychotherapy, lucid dreaming, connecting with guides and angels and people who've crossed over, things like that could come up. Okay, so the second must know, now that we're done with that very long discussion about those complicated aspects, has to do with, I'm using the early chart, but I'm talking about all of you here, As the planets move into Libra towards the end of the month, it's a totally different picture. In general, air energy flows much better with fire energy. So there are going to be supportive aspects that are conducive to the things you're trying to do. However, this particular air energy opposes yours. So this is going to bring up the, and this is for all signs, or all placements rather, the me-we polarity, you versus other people, where you're supposed to give more, where you're supposed to accept more, conflicts, resolutions, working together, partnering with people, separations, connections. There's going to be a lot of energy in me, we, and in working with friends and having help from people, and just a lot of personal connection time is coming at the end of September and into October, and this is for all placements. As the planets go through Libra, they're all going to oppose Chiron. So for all signs, this is going to bring up opportunities to heal victimhood. If somebody has a chip on their shoulder and they're not able to, forget or forgive, then that serves as an electrical charge. This is something so important to understand about manifesting, is that our nervous system has electrical frequency. It's an electrical charge. And in a universe where creation is very electrical, we supercharge to certain attraction points. If you have an opinion about something, or a chip on your shoulder, or feeling like a victim, and Chiron is bringing this up for everybody, but especially the early degree Aries placements, because Chiron is moving in close proximity to your Aries placement. But, this is going to be true in the cosmos, as I said, for everyone, as Libra placements come and oppose this. And Chiron is just moving through our, Aries sign here. So it's bringing up the places we are weakest, where we are holding on to something with a negative vibration, because that negative vibration is a powerful electrical attractor for those circumstances that would rub that the wrong way. So changing your electrical system and your internal structuring actually changes your manifestation points and how you create. So definitely, I always talk about EFT, the emotional freedom technique. If you just search for EFT, it has been scientifically proven now. There are over 100 different studies that show it changes the neuroplasticity of the brain. It also changes the nervous system. And for me, this comes back to this electrical impulse. And this is very, very electrical time. You might be, as the planets move into Libra, you might find, you might zap people, you touch them, you might electrical. It's very electrical. So bringing your awareness to your points of attraction from the electrical perspective that stem back to this feeling of victimhood. And this might not be conscious to you. This could be unconscious. You might not have any feeling of a grudge. But if you notice that you are pulling into your experience things that make you feel like a victim, or things where people are telling you you're a tyrant, that victim-tyrant polarity is brought up by this, and there may be some work that has to be done on the inner to shift that. But it can be very productive at this time, very overstimulating, and very much about me and we. So the last piece I wanted to talk about was Jupiter. I already sprinkled in the Jupiter stuff moving forward with Jupiter direct for early, and some of you middle, where Jupiter's in the 9th house. But for the rest of you middle and late degree placements, where you're having Jupiter in the 8th a bit more, the middle degree placements, it'll be there a bit more. Later degree placements, it will be there, months more. You might have had a taste of what Jupiter in the 9th would look like at the beginning of the year, when it got close to and started flavoring that 9th house. And really, it's been flavoring 9th house energy for all signs, because Jupiter has been in Sagittarius, which rules the 9th house. But this extra emphasis on the 9th house for middle and late degree placements is coming, and you could say it's actually extended, because you've had the whole year of Jupiter being in Sagittarius that worked on 9th house stuff for you, and then now as it moves into the 9th house, it's continuing that. So it's actually just a longer time of it. But for now, it's in the 8th house. When Jupiter's in the 8th house for the rest of the middle and late degree placements, it's expanding possibilities in a big way for your shared resources. So, I mentioned some of these things before, but this is really important to note, that if things stalled out in these arenas that I'm about to list, they could move forward in a magical way. So things involving inheritances, or even word about inheritances, or even, someone in your family securing and verbally telling you, hey, listen, don't worry about this. This is set, even if it's not actually a passing away of somebody. But it could be anything that has to do with inheritances, shared money, spousal money. It could be that your partner or your husband or your wife or your intimate person that you're connected to or your business partner could be benefiting financially, and you could benefit from them. Aries people are super independent, usually have their own things going on, but this time of Jupiter in the 8th house can really bring benefits to you from other people, not just your own work, or support from other people, or collaborations that make your work go further, or other people tending to details that you did not want to deal with. And that's where you're benefiting from the partnership. Benefits from partnership are going to be very strong and bringing, strongly brought up. And you might have to do some work within the partnership that Jupiter can bring up some issues there and amplify some problems. But if you do the work and get into the cooperation zone, then, you can get the money you need, you can get loans, you can pay off debt, you can enrich your resources, your spiritual resources, your emotional resources, you can heal psychologically, you can expand your bank of esoteric knowledge, you can win money, and this is really just, a very magical time of receiving support from the universe. So your work might be in just allowing it in, that receptivity. Sometimes Aries energy is not super receptive because it's so independent and like, oh, I don't need you, I'm fine. I don't need anything, I'm fine. Just let me do my thing. You don't want to have your flow or freedom interrupted or interfered with. But the more you can just accept it in, the more is sitting there for you to activate. So overall, I'd say a very productive month full of a lot of work, a lot of details, some antagonism and, challenges, but just a massive chance for manifestation, a massive chance for receiving support and resolving issues with partnerships and moving forward in some pretty big ways. We have 28 different aspects this month, and it's so astrologically busy. I've focused on the top 3 for your sign, but if you would like to have more information about all of these aspects, definitely look for my September 2019 must-knows for all signs. All right, so if you search for Annie Botticelli and then just the general must-knows for all signs, you're going to get more details. And then also, if you sign up for my free email newsletter at anniehelpsyou.com, you get a write-up of the month ahead, a month early. And in there, I list all the 28 for my September one. I list all the 28 aspects, the days they occur, the planets that are involved, what you can expect from them, and you have that delivered to your inbox. And I do that every month. So to get the full story about everything, and I have other resources which I'll list as well to help give you all the information you need to make this the best month possible. So if you love details like these, I have so many more places that you can get resources for this month and in general astrology. So definitely listen to my video, September 2019 must-knows for all signs. That's going to give you lots more details about how these aspects can show up and how you can best use them. I have written horoscopes that are usually talking about things different than the videos for each month. So you can see those at cozybysweetstarlight.com. There are also astrology and other blogs there at cozybysweetstarlight.com. You can go to anniehelpsyou.com to see my massive amount of astrology blogs to help you with transits that are occurring now, and other goodies on my site. You can sign up for my free email newsletter at anniehelpsyou.com, which will get you a write-up about the general aspects with all of them listed so that you have them for your planning purposes, always a month early. So you can do that at anniehelpsyou.com. Plus you get my free 28-day coaching program called Shine when you sign up for my free email newsletter. So I also have astrology education. So all the things I just listed are all free, and I do those for you every month. But I also have some even more in-depth astrology education options at anniehelpsyou.com that you can check out. I would love for you to learn with me. Definitely check out my book, Radical Prayer, Transform Your Life and the World in 28 Days, an Amazon bestseller, and a wonderful companion for my fellow spiritual seekers. So you can see that on Amazon or at radicalprayerbook.com. And you can check out my husband's site for even more resources that he offers, which is iamhelios.com. So he's B.R. Newman at iamhelios.com. I hope you have a wonderful month, and I'll see you next month. Bye.